Hello everyone, my name is Malcolm Obara. I am a course instructor at WGU's College of IT Software Department, and in this video I'll be going over a demo of the C482 Performance Assessment. So the first menu I will be demonstrating is the main menu. I'll be covering the user interface components, search and delete functionality, and redirection. So this is the main menu. So I'm going to go over the user interface components. So the main menu should have search text fields for parts and products. Should have two table views for displaying part objects and product objects. And you can see that the table views have been preloaded with data. So this is optional. So you can have this start up without any data in the table views. And the main menu consists of several buttons that I will cover. So let's go over the search functionality. So you can search for parts using the part ID or the part name. So you can see here I have parts with IDs 1 to 3 and some part names. So let's go ahead and search for a part ID. So I'm going to go ahead and type ID 2 and hit enter. And you can see that that part with ID 2 gets highlighted in the table view. Now if you want to search for a part by name, you can just go in here and type the name. So I'll just go ahead and type RIM and hit enter. And you can see that that part gets filtered in the table view. And if you go ahead and clear up the text field and hit enter, or just search for a part that does not exist, you should get the original parts displayed in the table view. Now, the name search can be a partial search. So what that means is you do not have to type the full name of the part that you're looking for before you search. So for instance, we're going to go here and search for the brakes part. So I'll just go here and type BR and then go ahead and hit enter. And you can see that it isolates that part in the table view. Okay, so that is the search functionality for parts. The same also applies to products. You can search by ID or you can search by name. So you can see that I have two products with the name that start with the letter G. So of course any those should be filtered in the list as well. So you can say I have a product called Giant Bicycle and another called GT Bike. So of course all products with G's should display that table view. Okay, so that was the search functionality. Now I'll go over deleting a part and a product. So to delete a part, just select the part that you want to delete from the table view, or you can search for it, and then go ahead and click on the delete button. So when you delete, you should have a dialog box pop up confirming if you want to delete the part or not delete it. So if you go ahead and click cancel, then nothing should happen. I'm going to go ahead and delete this part, and you can see that it takes it out of there. Okay, so the delete function also applies to products, but there is a catch. Products may have associated parts, so there is an exception that I will cover regarding deleting products. Okay, so the next function will be the navigation or the redirection. Basically what happens when you click on certain buttons and it takes you to different pages. So your redirection buttons or your add and modify buttons. So over here, if you go ahead and click on this add button, this should take you to the add part menu. If you go ahead and click on cancel, that should take you back to the main menu. Likewise, if you go ahead and click on the add button for products, it'll take you to the add product menu. Go ahead and hit cancel, takes you back to the main menu. And if you want to modify a part, you go ahead and select the part that you want and then go ahead and click on the modify button. It'll take you to the Modify Part menu. You can hit Cancel, takes you back to the main menu. And if you want to modify product, select the product, and then click the Modify button. It'll take you to the Modify Product menu. Go ahead and hit Cancel, and it'll take you back to the main menu. So that's the demonstration for the main menu. So the next menu I'll be covering is the Add Part menu. So I'll be going over the UI components, radio buttons, input, and redirection. So to add a part from your main menu, go ahead and click on this Add button, and that will take you to the Add Part menu. So the Add Part menu consists of the following user interface components. We have radio buttons, we have some text fields for input, and we have some buttons for saving the part and going back to the main menu. So let's go over the radio buttons. So the radio buttons allow you to choose what kind of part you want to create. So you have the choices of an in-house part or an outsourced part. So you can see that when you toggle the radio buttons, obviously one gets selected at a time. And another thing you will notice is that this label over here for this text field switches. So if you have an in-house part selected, this label should read as machine ID. And if you select the outsourced radio button, this label should read as company name. So that is how the radio button should function in the UI. So next, let's go over the input when creating a part. So over here you can see we have the part ID or the ID. So you notice that this text field has been deactivated, so you can't type an ID. So your IDs are supposed to be uniquely auto-generated. So this cannot be tampered with when creating a part. So let's go ahead and put some data for our parts. So let's go ahead and call this part seat post. And then let's go ahead and give it an inventory. So this will be a number. So this will be how many is in stock. And then let's go give the part a price. Let's call it $9.99. And then let's go ahead and specify the maximum number of parts that the company can hold. So let's just go here and put in a value of 10. And then for the minimum, let's go ahead and put in a value of 1 for display. And then let's go ahead and give this a part ID. So just give this number 5555. Okay, so once you're done with the part, just go ahead and click on the Save button. And then you're going to see that the part gets added to the table view or the list that the table view is bound to. So you saw earlier that if you want to cancel creating a part, just click on the Cancel button and you will be redirected back to the main menu. So that's it for the Add Part menu. So the next menu I'll be covering is the Modify Part menu. So I'm going to show you how to modify a part, and we'll go over the user interface components and redirection. So let's go ahead and modify that part that we created earlier. So go ahead and select the part right here, and then go ahead and click on the Modify button. And that will take you here to the Modify Part menu. So you can see that the Modify Part menu is exactly the same as the Add Part menu. So one thing you'll notice is that when you select that part and hit the Modify button, the data for that part gets transferred over to this menu. So you can see that the type of part that it was you created gets selected via these radio buttons. So it was an in-house part, so we should have the in-house radio button selected automatically. We should also see the ID that was generated for the part. Again, this text field should not be tampered with. And you can see all the data about the part in the text fields. So let's go ahead and make a change to the part. So we can go ahead and make this an outsourced part. And then I'll just go ahead and change the part name. So I'll just call it saddle. Okay, I'll leave everything else the same, but for the company name, I'll go ahead and change it to, say, Acme. So company name should be text related. So let's go ahead and click on Save. And you can see that I'm redirected to the main menu. And you can see right here that the part name has been changed. If I come here and hit the Modify button again, you can see that all the information about that part is retained. So the Outsource Radio button is selected, and all the data about the part is displayed in the text fields. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Cancel and go back to the main menu. So that was it for the Modify Part menu. So the next menu I'll be going over is the Add Product menu. So I'll be talking about the UI components, input. I'll show you how to search your parts. I'll show you how to add or remove associated parts, and then we'll go over the redirection. So we add a product by clicking on this Add button, and this will take you to the Add Product menu. So the Add Product menu has the following UI components. So on the left, we have some text fields for input, and on the right, we have these two table views. So this top table view is identical to the parts table view in the main menu, so you can see everything here is exactly the same. And here we have this bottom table view, which would be used for holding associated parts for this product. And we have a couple of buttons, and we have the search text field up here. So I'm going to go over the input. So you can see here that the product ID is going to be auto-generated, just like the part ID. And we can go here and just put some names for this product. So let's go ahead and call this Fuji Bike. And then let's go set up the same inventory levels. So I'll make this a 5. I'll make the bike $99.99. Set the max as 10. And set the minimum in stock as 1. Okay, so that is the input. Next, let's go over how to use this search field. So the search applies for the part table over here at the top. So you can search by ID or you can search by name. So I'll go here and put in an ID and hit enter. You can see that the part with ID 2 gets highlighted, or you can go ahead and put in a name, full search or partial search. I'll just put in the letter T, and you can see that that gets filtered. So I'll clear up that search text field to bring the parts back. So that covers the search. So next I'll show you how to add an associated part to this product. So you do that by selecting a part from the top table view, and then you go ahead and click on this Add button. So that will copy the part over to this bottom table view, and now this is an associated part. So you can add as many parts as you want. You can have duplicates in this table view, and that is how you add associated parts. So next I'll show you how to remove an associated part from a product. So all you do is go to this bottom table view and click on this Remove Associated Part button. You should have a dialog box pop up to confirm if you want to remove or delete that associated part. So just go ahead and click OK, and that will take it out of the list. Okay, so if you were to hit the Cancel button, that will take you to the main menu, but we can go ahead and hit the Save button, and that will save our product. And you can see right here that the product Fuji Bike has been added to the list. So that covers adding a product in your app. So next I will be going over the Modify Product menu, and I'll show you how to modify a product. Okay, so let's go ahead and modify that product we just created. So go ahead and select the Fuji Bike product, and then go ahead and click on the Modify button. And you can see that that takes you to the Modify Product menu. So you can see that the UI components here are exactly the same as the Add Product menu. Another thing you see is that the data for the product that we modified gets displayed in the text field. So we have the product ID, the name of the product, and so on. So you also notice that the ID is also deactivated. So the ID is forever for every product or part that you create. You also see that the products associated parts are retained. So we had 2 associated parts for that product, and you can see that they're here. Okay, so we can go here and make a change to the product name. So I'll just call this a different type of bike. Call it a Bianchi or Bianchi bike. I'm saying that correctly. I'll leave everything else the same, and maybe I'll just go here and remove an associated part, and then go ahead and hit save. And then we're back to the main menu. You can see that the product name has changed. I'll select that product and modify again to confirm that its associated part is also retained. So I'll hit cancel to go back to the main menu. So that is how to modify a product. So last, I will be going over the exceptions or logical error checks that must be met in your app. So the first logical error check states that non-numeric values should not be used in text boxes that expect numeric values. So this error check applies to the add and modify part menus because those are the ones that will be accepting input. So let's go ahead and add a part. And then I'm just going to leave these text fields blank and then go ahead and hit save. And you're going to see that I get a message pop up stating that price is not a double, a whole bunch of messages. But what's really happening is because you didn't put anything in these text fields. And these text fields expect a specific data type. So that's one thing you should check out for. So I'll go ahead and fill up the text fields with some random parts. I'll just call this X. I'll put in a number here, 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 there, and I'll put in a number there. Okay, so the price text field is expecting a double, okay, or a number. So if I went in here and put in a letter for the price and hit save, you can see I get that exception. So it says that price is not a double. Okay, so those are the that is the exception that should be met, or the logical error that should be met when you are entering any input while modifying or while adding parts, modifying parts, adding products, or modifying products. Okay, so the next logical error check states that the minimum value should be less than the maximum value, and the inventory value should be between the max and the min value. So this exception or logical error check applies to the add and modify menus. So I'm going to come here and change this price back to a number, and I'll go ahead and show you what happens if we violate those rules. So minimum should be less than max. So I'll go here and make minimum 10. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. And you can see that you should have an error pop up or an error message pop up stating that minimum should be less than max. So I'll go ahead and make this 1. So the other thing to check out for is that your inventory should be between max and min. So as it is, it's fine, but I'll go ahead and bump this up to 15. I'll go ahead and hit save, and you should see that I get that message that inventory must be between min and max. Okay, so that is it for that exception. Okay, so the next exception applies to the main menu. So I'm going to go here back to the main menu. And the exceptional logical error states that the user should not delete a product that has a part associated with it. So what that means is that if you have a product that has an associated part, you may not delete it. So let's go to this product that we created, the Bianchi bike, and then go ahead and click on Modify. So you can see that this product has one associated part. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Cancel to go back to the main menu. So go ahead and select the product and then go ahead and hit the Delete button. Click OK. And you can see that I get a message saying that this product has parts, and that product will not be deleted because it has associated parts with it, or at least one associated part. So to delete this product, we got to remove that associated part. So let's go ahead and hit Modify, select the product and hit Modify, and then go ahead and select the associated part, and then go ahead and remove it. Go ahead and save. Go ahead and select your product. Go ahead and hit the Delete button. Click OK, and the product's gone. Okay, so that's it for that logical error check. Okay, so the last check applies to all the menus because they all have some type of delete or remove functionality. So it states that when you delete or remove an item, you should have a confirmation dialog box confirming if you want to delete or remove that item. So over here we have parts. You can go ahead and select the part. When you go ahead and hit delete, you can see I always get this confirmation box pop up, checking to see if I want to remove that item. So that's what that means, and I'll just hit cancel. And then let's go ahead and modify a product. And then over here, I'm going to remove this associated part. So it's also a form of delete, so you should also get this dialog box, confirmation dialog box pop up to confirm if we want to delete or not delete the item. Okay, so that's it for that error check or validation. Okay, so that is it for the video. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please send us an email at cmsoftware@wgu.edu. Thank you, and you have a nice day. Bye-bye.